Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to Kottabos Space Program, where today we are having a look at yet another wonderful mod, this time in the form of races, which is being made by forum user Vloss. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is the ability to make your own custom racetrack simply by placing checkpoints out in the world, no matter if it's on land, air, water, or even space. You simply place them, and then once your track is built, you race between said checkpoints trying to get the best lap time. And it's really quite an enjoyable mod. I honestly didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I have, but I've been sitting here for quite a while just having a load of fun building my own custom racetracks and then trying to get, as I said, the best lap time on them. Now, of course, there's no parts to look at, so no VAB or spaceplane hangers. So let's go straight out to the runway and grab the buggy and show off how all this works. And it's really surprisingly simple on how you actually go and build these racetracks. Let's turn on our brakes so we don't roll away. And then notice the lovely new button added in by this mod, which is simply a red rectangle and with kind of a gray stripe down the side of it there. Very nice little button. Click it and we get this races interface, which is all the races that you currently have on your computer, which is quite fun. Now this comes with 3 races, an air test, an earth lap test, and a just regular test track. I also then made my own here to show off on how easy it is to build, and then if you want to create your own new racetrack, you have this button down here. But let's take a look at, say, my crappy little one that I made earlier, the Kottabos Sprint by Kottabos. As you can see here is a 1-lap race, which in this mod actually technically doesn't mean a lap of a circuit, rather a sprint. So you go from a start point to an end point, and that's technically what the 1 lap is here. And you can then see here it is only 50.82 meters in length. So not exactly a long race, but hey, it works. So once clicked on it, you can see we have these lovely little checkpoints here, and this is what you actually race between. Now, the basic colors here is the white is your starting point, the yellow are the other checkpoints in the race, and the red is your end finish line. Now, once you actually go through, say, the starting point here, this white checkpoint will actually turn gray, and this second yellow checkpoint after it will then turn white because that's showing you which active checkpoint you need to go to next. So it's quite convenient to have that color coding. And so yeah, quite good, easy to follow along how you have to go on the races. Now you can't actually see though that they are physical elements in the world. They even do cast shadows, but don't worry, you're not going to run into these things and explode. They have no colliders, so you can just drive or fly right through them with no issues. Though, that being said, if you actually do clip the edge of the checkpoint, you get a time penalty. So you actually want to go straight through the center without hitting anything, so you're good to go. But back to over here on the interface, you can see that we have my racetrack again here with its name, the Kottabos Sprint by me, the number of checkpoints, the number of laps, which of course, as I said, for 1 lap, it's really a sprint from one end to the other. We then have the distance yet again, and my current best time, which considering how short this is actually only 5.36 seconds. And then it also shows you the starting latitude and longitude of the race, what the altitude of the starting point is, and how far we are from it, currently only 13.45. Now, if we want to start the race, we would click this button here, and it, of course, would go. Now, it doesn't start actually timing your lap, though, until you go through the starting checkpoint. So we could actually putter around here for a while before any timer starts off. If we wanted, though, we also could edit this racetrack if we weren't quite happy with how it looked, which will show off how that all works momentarily. And then finally, if you don't want any racetrack at all, you can just click clear, and it goes back to just this regular interface. Don't worry about that clear button, it's not a delete, you just gotta press it again, because if, say, we turn off this UI right there, the track will stay there forever. Even if you switch to another ship, these checkpoints will remain. So if you want them to be taken out of the world, you need to click the clear, and that's all it does, is it clears the track out of the current world. And so let's turn that back on and actually go and start ourselves a little race. Now you can see here that we have our little UI now. It shows us that the 1 lap, we still have time, since we haven't started the race officially, to edit the track if we so desire, or load a different one. But once we do cross over the threshold of the starting checkpoint, see, you can see there that it did turn gray, and the timer has now begun, and it shows us the name of the race, and if we so desire, we could abort the race and start something else. But if we just continue through, you can see we have up here, it's updating us with our time. So every checkpoint we go through, it'll tell us how long it took us to get to that. So checkpoint 1, it took us 11 seconds, checkpoint 2, 13, and then the total time once we crossed the finish was 15.3, or 96 rather. And once here, we can either restart the race, again, edit the track, or load a different one. And it's quite as simple as that. It's a pretty easy thing to get used to, and quite fun. Now, on to editing these tracks. Let's actually clear this track and just start fresh with a new one. So we'll just go to, nope, didn't mean to do that. I actually meant to hit brakes. Let's go to new racetrack. And here is where we would name it, put in the author, and you can select how many laps there's going to be, but you don't really have to worry about the laps yet, or anything here, really. You can change this in the future. And then to actually start building, you have to click this button right here, New Checkpoint. And when you click it, it's going to place a checkpoint over you. And you'll see we have this new section of the UI here, and what this top bit is how you can navigate between checkpoints. So if you have more than one checkpoint set, you would navigate between them with this. We can also change the size of the waypoint, which is quite important. Remember what I said, if you hit the checkpoint while racing, you get a 10-second time penalty. So if you're, say, doing a flying racetrack, you may want these to be quite a bit bigger, and that is the maximum size 3, which, as you can see there, is pretty darn big, and the smallest size is the size 0, which we were using with my little racetrack earlier. And then here we can adjust the pitch right there. Excellent. And you just move this slider back and forth, and it's as simple as that to move these. It's not actually anything by degrees. It's just the further over you go, the faster it's going to flip around, as you can see there. And you just go to the other side to do it the other way. That's all there is to that. We then also have roll, so you can move it around in that direction, which is quite cool, because say if you're doing a flying one, you could put a vertical checkpoint in between, say, perhaps some buildings over there, so you have to actually tilt the plane on its side to fly through. Scary but fun. And then also we have finally the yaw movement here, so you can say put it like that, so you have to climb through the checkpoint, etc. And then below, we have actually how you move the checkpoint. So once you have it rotated how you like, and of course you can always change the rotation at any time you want later, you can then position it, and these work the same way. We have latitude, longitude, and altitude, and you simply move these dials left to right to move them where you desire. So we can move it there, move it up there a bit, and then of course we have up and down motion. So theoretically, actually, if you have one of the submarine mods in the game, you could also make a race underwater, though that would be far more difficult, I think. But yeah, and that's all you need to do to move around individual checkpoints. Now, once you need another checkpoint, you just simply go with New Checkpoint. And again, it pops onto your location, and then you just have to move it to where it needs to be, do all the same rotation, etc. that you want for that particular checkpoint, and then you just keep on adding one thing after another. Why do I keep doing it the wrong way every time? There we go. And as I said before, we can then switch between checkpoints by using this here. And so we can navigate back and forth and then edit them as needed. So if we want to change it a little bit, you're perfectly fine to do that. And so even after you've completely built your whole racetrack, if you wanted to edit it, you could still have the same interface and you would move back and forth between the different checkpoints. And of course, if you ever want one removed, like say the last one there, you just hit the remove checkpoint button, and it's as simple as that. And of course, once you're all said and done, you simply hit Save Racetrack. Of course, if you don't like anything you've done, you could always hit New Racetrack and it'll just clear everything and you'll start again. Or just simply not save it and hit back. Or, of course, start the race. We could start this horrible monstrosity of a race and actually do it. Now here, though, here's where it gets really fun. With these tracks that we make, if we actually go to Load Tracks, all of these tracks are saved in a folder called Racetracks under the Game Data folder that you put your mods into. And each race is an individual file, so you can very easily take that file out of that folder and email it to a friend, for instance, and so you can easily share your racetracks between one another, trying to compete to get the best race times, which I think is my favorite part about this entire mod. If I want to share a racetrack with a friend, it's as simple as that. And again, you can make your racetracks in the air, as is with this one that comes with the mod, or on the earth, like that nice one over there that the mod maker created, or this weird test track that goes down the runway, basically in a pseudo drag race, I guess, even though it kind of kinks to the right a little bit there. And yeah, you can just do whatever you want with these. You just place the checkpoints and then race. It is as simple as that. And you know what? It's just fun. So if you would like to check out this mod for yourself, which I definitely suggest you go and do, as it is just pretty darn cool, you can take a look at the link in the description as always. And yeah, I would definitely say give it a try, have some fun with it, enjoy yourself. And of course, I do hope that you have enjoyed this episode today and that you do come back for the next, when of course we'll be looking at yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.